In the spotlight tonight is Peter Gaskell from Caerphilly, a project manager, and his subject is Clive of India. Anna Torpey from Wallasey, a full-time mother. Her subject, the novels of Joanne Harris. Suzanne Swan from Middlesex, a financial analyst, and her subject is Mary Tudor. And Tom Rutherford from Edinburgh, a civil servant. His subject, the Cricket World Cup. And welcome to Mastermind with me, John Humphreys. The pressure is really cranked up tonight as four contenders try to claim a place in the final, where they could be crowned the nation's mastermind. Although they have all been here before, that doesn't make the challenge any easier. 2 minutes is all they get for their specialist subject and 2 minutes on general knowledge. So let's have our first contender, please. And your name is?
Peter Gaskell.
Your occupation?
Project manager. And
your chosen subject?
The life and career of Robert Clive of India.
Clive of India in 2 minutes, starting now. What is the name of the family estate near Market Drayton where Robert Clive was born in September 1725?
Stitch Hall.
Yes. On the 23rd of June 1757, which battle effectively made him the ruler of Bengal and embedded British power in India?
Plassey.
Yes. Clive attended 4 different schools during his childhood. Which school in London was the third of those?
Merchant Taylor.
Yes. What name was given to the junior clerical post at the East India Company, which he was offered in December 1742?
Clerk.
Writer. Clive's first posting in India was at which settlement where he tried to combat the drudgery and boredom by making use of Governor Morse's library?
Fort St George.
Yes. What was the name of Clive's future brother-in-law with whom he escaped to Fort St David in 1746 after Fort St George had fallen to the French?
Edmund Maskelyne.
Yes. He was elected to a seat in which Cornish borough at the election of 1754, only to be unseated following allegations of vote rigging?
Mitchell.
Yes. What rank did Clive hold within the company's military force when he took Arcot in 1751 and then withstood a protracted siege from the French and their Indian allies?
Captain.
Correct. In 1749, he volunteered to lead the assault party that stormed which fort at the mouth of the Coleraine River?
Pass.
What was the name of the Danish missionary who conducted his marriage to Margaret Maskelyne at Fort St George in February 1753?
Pass.
In 1756, he assisted with the capture of which pirate stronghold, which was commanded by Tulagi Angria?
Guerilla.
Yes. In 1766, he had to put down a mutiny after abolishing which allowance that was given to officers in the field in India?
Double Batty.
Yes. After the death of Lord Powis in 1772, Clive was appointed as the Lord Lieutenant of which English county?
Shropshire.
Correct. During a speech to a parliamentary inquiry in 1772, Clive recalled the riches that had been offered to him by the Nawab of Bengal and stated that he stood astonished by his own what?
Moderation.
Yes, the 1751 attack on Arcot was intended to force which Indian ally of the French to divert troops from the siege of Trichinopoly?
Chanda Sahib.
Yes. In which London square was Clive's home where he died in 1774 after years of suffering ill health and pain?
Berkeley Square.
Berkeley Square is correct. You had 2 passes. John Fabricius was the name of that missionary. Doesn't ring a bell, no. And Devolcotan was the fort at the mouth of the Coleraine River. 2 passes. Peter Gaskell, 13 points. And our next contender, please. And your name is?
Anna Torpey.
Your occupation?
Full-time mother.
And your chosen subject?
The novels of Joanne Harris.
The novels of Joanne Harris in 2 minutes, starting now. In Chocolat, what is the name of Anouk's rabbit friend who's imaginary and invisible to most people, though both her mother and Armand catch glimpses of him?
Pantoufle.
Yes, the unusual narrator of Blackberry Wines described at the beginning of the novel as pert, garrulous, cheery and a little brash. What is it?
A Fleury 62.
Yes, in Sleep, pale Sister Henry had stolen what item of clothing from his mother and hidden it behind a loose stone in the chimney?
A wrap.
Yes, as well as a lock of hair, what does Mado Prasto find in the locket that her father Grosjean always wore in coastliners?
A picture. A photograph of herself.
Correct. What is the shape of the branding mark on Guy Lemerle's upper left arm in Holy Fools, which was his punishment for seducing a novice nun?
Fleur de lis.
Yes, in 5/4 of the Orange, what is Old Mother, which is said to be cursed and which Framboise was determined to catch when she was a child?
A pike.
Yes, when Josephine steals a small box of chocolates from the shop in Chocolat, what does Vian do in response?
She gives her a free packet.
A larger box, yes. What is the motto of St Oswald's School, which is inscribed on the lid of Roy Straightley's fob watch in Gentlemen and Players?
To strive, to dare, to conquer.
Yes, in Sleep, pale Sister Henry often makes his wife Effie take which drug to keep her quiet?
Laudanum.
Yes, which saint is depicted on an enamelled pendant that Perrette wears around her neck in Holy Fools?
Christina Mirabilis.
Correct. Joanne Harris's first novel, The Evil Seed, is a vampire story set in which city?
Cambridge.
Correct. What is the name of the old nurseryman who appears in both Chocolat and Blackberry Wine?
Could you repeat the question,
What
please?
is the name of the old nurseryman who appears in both Chocolat and Blackberry Wine?
Narcisse.
Yes, what does Framboise' mother leave to her in her will as well as her album of recipes and writings in 5/4 of the orange?
A Perigord truffle.
Correct. In Gentlemen and Players, the schoolboy Anderton Pullet collapses and is rushed to hospital after what has been put in his fizzy drink?
A peanut.
Yes, in Blackberry Wine, under what assumed name has J. Mackintosh written 7 novels, including The Jesus Gene, A Date with Death, and Sirens of Mars?
Jonathan Winesap.
Yes, what uncomplimentary name does Grosjean give to boats that he considers square and ugly in coastliners?
A steel pig.
Metal pigs. In Holy Fools, the new abbess forbids the nuns to wear what type of head covering, instructs them to wear a wimple instead?
The quichenotte.
Quichenotte is correct. No passes. Anna Torpey, 16 points. And our next contender, please. And your name is?
Susan Swan,
Your occupation?
financial analyst.
And your chosen subject?
Mary Tudor.
Mary Tudor in 2 minutes, starting now. Mary Tudor was born in which royal palace on the 18th of February, 1516?
Placentia in Greenwich.
Yes, which Spanish humanist devised a plan of study for Mary based on his book, The Education of a Christian Woman?
Joanne Louis Vives.
Yes, at the age of 4, Mary was engaged to be married to whom by the terms of the Treaty of Windsor?
Emperor Charles V.
Correct. Which castle was Mary's official residence during the period when she represented Henry VIII in Wales?
Ludlow.
Yes, who was the secretary to the imperial ambassador Van of Delft, who failed in his attempt to help Mary escape from Woodham Walter in 1550?
Jean Dubois.
Yes. Mary gathered her forces at which castle in Suffolk in July 1553 while she waited for a proclamation as queen?
Framlingham Castle.
Yes. Which Flemish nobleman and warrior acted as Philip of Spain's proxy during the betrothal proceedings with Mary?
Pass.
In 1555, Bishops Ridley and Latimer were burned opposite which Oxford College during the first phase of the Marian persecution?
Balliol College.
Yes, Mary appointed Stephen Gardiner, the Bishop of Winchester, to which position in August 1553, despite his role in her parents' divorce?
Chancellor of England.
Lord Chancellor, yes. In which London building did Mary make a speech condemning a number of Kentishmen, which helped to rally support against Wyatt's rebellion?
London Guildhall.
Yes. What was the name of the Spanish theologian and confessor of Philip II, who allegedly preached a sermon at Mary's court against the burning of heretics?
De Castro.
Yes. In April 1557, a small force led by Thomas Stafford seized which castle and town in Yorkshire in protest at Mary's marriage to a foreigner?
Scarborough.
Yes. Which papal legate's arrival provided the impetus for Mary's restoration of Catholicism in England?
Reginald Pole.
Yes. Which English soldier conspired with the French court to lead an invasion of southern England during the period following the Treaty of Vaucelles in 1556?
Henry Dudley.
Yes. After she released her half-sister Elizabeth from the Tower, Mary allowed her to live in relative comfort in which castle?
Woodstock.
Yes. Which legate was appointed by Pope Paul IV to replace Reginald Pole? Although this was opposed by Mary, he eventually declined the office.
William Peto.
Yes. Mary encouraged which of her ladies in waiting to marry the Count of Feria, although the wedding was not celebrated till after the Queen's death?
Jane Dormer.
Yes. Which French town was captured by the armies of Mary and Philip in August 1557? The English forces were commanded by the Earl of Pembroke.
Saint-Quentin.
Yes. What was the name of the imperial ambassador? I've started, so I'll finish. Who acted as a clandestine advisor to Mary during and after her parents' divorce?
Chapuis.
Chapuis is correct. You had just one pass. That Flemish nobleman was...
Egmont.
It was.
It was Egmont.
Yes, but it's a bit late now, isn't it? Anyway, there we are. Didn't do you too badly. One pass, but 18 points. And our next contender, please. And your name is?
Tom Rutherford.
Your occupation?
Civil servant.
And your chosen subject?
The Cricket World Cup, 1975 to 2007.
The Cricket World Cup in 2 minutes, starting now. At the 2003 World Cup, Andy Farr and which other player wore black armbands to mourn the death of democracy in our beloved Zimbabwe?
Henry Olonga.
Correct. Which country made their debut in 1979 but did not make their second appearance until 2003?
Canada.
Correct. Which lower order batsman made 32 runs off just 15 balls in the opening game of the 2007 tournament?
Pass.
Sunil Gavaskar played what's believed to be the slowest World Cup innings in 1975 when he stayed at the crease throughout India's innings against England, apparently to get some batting practice. How many runs did he score?
35.
36, not out. What is the surname of the father and son who played for different teams in World Cups? The father represented East Africa in 1975. His son was in the England squad in 87 and 92.
Pringle.
Yes, on which ground did Bangladesh unexpectedly defeat Pakistan in 1999?
Northampton.
Yes, Steve Buckner has umpired 5 World Cup finals, which other umpires stood with him in the finals of 96, 99 and 2003.
David Shepherd.
Yes, in 1999, Rahul Dravid and which other player put on a stand of 318 for the second wicket for India against Sri Lanka?
Sourav Ganguly.
Yes, which batsman scored 142 of Zimbabwe's 239 runs against New Zealand in 1987?
Pass.
Australia and which other team refused to play in Sri Lanka in 1996 because of security concerns?
West Indies.
Correct. In 2007, Matthew Hayden scored the fastest World Cup century during a match against South Africa in St Kitts. How many balls did he take to reach his 100?
67.
66. Who played for the West Indies in 1992 and for Canada in 2007?
Anderson Cummins.
Yes. What's the name of the former Middlesex and Sussex player who kept wicket for England in 1983 and umpired at the 2007 tournament?
Ian Gould.
Correct. In 83, Pakistan beat Sri Lanka, at which ground it became the first to host a World Cup game without previously having staged a test match?
Pass.
In the 1975 final, which Australian opener was the first of 3 players to be run out by Viv Richards?
Ian Chappell.
Alan Turner. The England team that contested the 79 final featured only 4 regular bowlers, so 3 batsmen had to bowl 12 overs between them. Gooch and Boycott were 2. Who was the third?
Larkins.
Correct. I've started, so I'll finish. Just how many runs did South Africa need for victory off the last 13 balls at their 92 semi-final against England before a rain delay reduced the runs required by 1 but left them with only 1 ball from which to score them?
22.
22 is correct. You had 3 passes. St Helens Swansea was that ground in question. David Houghton was the batsman who scored all those runs for Zimbabwe, and Dwayne Smith was the lower order batsman who made 32 runs off 15 balls. 3 passes. Tom Rutherford, 11 points. So that's the end of the first round. Let's have a look at the scores. In 4th place with 11 points, Tom Rutherford. 3rd place, 13 points, Peter Gaskell. 2nd place, 16 points, Anna Torpey. In the lead with 18 points, Susan Swan. The general knowledge round now, and if there's a tie at the end of it, then the number of passes get taken into account, and the person with the fewest passes is the winner. So, by and large, it's better to take an educated guess than to pass. Let's get on with it and ask Tom Rutherford to join us again, please. And you took that disaster. Well, no, not all World Cups are a disaster, but the last one was, wasn't it? Shambles.
The last one had certain issues associated with it. I mean, it was a tremendous logistical feat just to organise the tournament amongst 8 different islands, as many independent countries. But yes, there were certain high-profile things that went spectacularly wrong with it.
And somebody said that it started in tragedy and ended in farce. That's not far wrong, is it?
And the death of Bob Wilmer obviously cast a cloud over the whole tournament, and then the final ending in darkness because the umpires got the rules wrong. That's pathetic, frankly. But,
Is there any point in a cricket World Cup? I mean, not that many countries play cricket properly, as it were. And...
the same argument could apply to rugby. I mean, you have the 10 test-playing nations who, if you leave aside the politics in Zimbabwe, all have a right to be there. This Cricket World Cup had 6 qualifiers from the next tier down, the associate nations, including Ireland, who did very well and certainly justified their place. But I think possibly there is a case that 6 associates is too many.
Right, you have 11 points with cricket. Let's see how you do with general knowledge. Corrida de Toros is the Spanish term for what sort of contest?
Bullfight?
Yes, which character does Elijah Wood play in the Lord of the Rings trilogy of films?
Pass.
Which island off the south coast of England is almost divided in 2 by the River Medina?
Isle of Wight?
Yes, by what collective name are the inert gases now generally known?
Noble gases.
Yes, which band released the track The Saints Are Coming with Green Day in 2006, donated the profits to a charity set up to help musicians in New Orleans in the wake of Hurricane Katrina?
Pass.
Which South African antelope makes a series of vertical leaps called pronking or stotting when it's alarmed or excited?
GNU?
Springbok. Which broadcaster and travel writer who died in 2004 toured Irish bars around the world in search of his clan chief and Irish roots?
Pass.
What name from the Arabic for square house or cube is given to the small shrine near the centre of the great mosque in Mecca that Muslims consider the most sacred place on earth?
Kaaba.
Yes, in the Tour de France, what pattern is on the jersey worn by the cyclist who's leading the mountain stages?
Polka dot.
Yes, the name of which Norwegian army officer who collaborated with the Nazis during the Second World War has become a byword for treachery?
Quisling.
Correct. Which French post-impressionist who spent many years in Aix-en-Provence painted a series of pictures called The Card Players between 1890 and 1892?
Renoir.
Cézanne. What middle name was shared by Charlie Chaplin and Sir Winston Churchill?
Spencer.
Correct. Which rapper rose to movie stardom in the 1990s after playing the title character in the television sitcom The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air?
Will Smith.
Correct. The name of which plant with nodding flowers and backward curving petals comes from the Greek for circle, a possible reference to its bulbous roots?
Pass.
On an Ordnance Survey map, what's indicated by two crossed swords?
Battlefield.
Yes. Which play by Ben Jonson is set at the fair that was held annually at Smithfield on 24th of August?
Every Man in His Humour.
Bartholomew Fair. Which South American country's flag features a globe bearing a motto that translates as order and progress?
Brazil.
Yes. Which Northern Ireland politician shared the 1998 Nobel Peace Prize with the Ulster Unionist leader David Trimble?
John Hume.
Correct. In grammar, what name is given to a word used to connect words, clauses and sentences?
Preposition.
Conjunction. You had 4 passes altogether. Frodo Baggins was the character in the Lord of the Rings. It was U2 which released the track The Saints Are Coming. Pete McCarthy was the broadcaster and travel writer who died in 2004. And the name of that plant with the nodding flowers and all that is cyclamen. 4 passes. Tom Rutherford, a total now of 22 points. And now Peter Gaskell, please. Clive of India, the man, I suppose you could say, who turned a trading post into an empire. And it's all a bit odd, isn't it? Because he went out there as a clerk or a writer, as one of the questions had it, yes.
He was probably sent out there by his father to get him out of trouble. He was a kind of teenager who...
He was stroppy.
He was stroppy, he looked for trouble. He only really thrived if there was a sense of danger around him. And that brought out the best in him as a figure of action, if you like.
Or the worst if you were on the other side.
Indeed. He was very brave. He didn't shy away from danger himself, and he inspired others to follow him.
Though by today's standards, obviously what he was doing was entirely reprehensible.
I think in the context of the time, you were expected to take what you could on the side because you were paid £5 a year as a writer. And even the directors weren't paid enough to sustain the lifestyle that they were expected to enjoy out there. So it was expected that you found other ways of private trading, really.
Well, his name has gone down in history, that's for sure. And you scored 13 points with him. Let's see how you do with general knowledge. 2 minutes. Which type of competitive skiing added to the Winter Olympics in 1948 involves following a zigzag course between up to 75 gates?
Slalom?
Yes, A Morbid Taste for Bones, published in 1977, was the first novel to feature which medieval Benedictine monk?
Pass.
Which national park in Tanzania, whose name is derived from the Maasai word for endless plains, is famed for its vast migrations of wildebeest and other animals?
Serengeti?
Yes, whose titles bestowed on him on his marriage in July 1986 include Earl of Inverness?
Pass.
In the human body, which bone articulates with the scapula, ulna and part of the radius?
Pass.
Which country singer and theme park owner married the reclusive Carl Dean in 1966?
Willie Nelson?
Dolly Parton. What term is used for a word that imitates the sound it is describing, such as buzz or ping?
Onomatopoeia?
Yes. Which was Britain's first official long-distance footpath, formally opened in 1965?
Pass.
The painting And When Did You Last See Your Father by W.F. Yeats is set during which war?
First World War?
English Civil War, also known as the windhover, which is the most common bird of prey in Britain?
Sparrowhawk?
Kestrel. What name is traditionally used for seats in the uppermost gallery of a theatre because the blue sky painted on many theatre ceilings was thought to represent heaven?
The Gods?
Yes. Which left-wing former MP was born in 1925 at 40 Millbank, Westminster, the site of which is now occupied by the Labour Party's headquarters?
Tony Benn?
Yes. Which 1984 pop song was the biggest-selling single of all time in Britain until Elton John's 1997 version of Candle in the Wind?
Live Aid.
Do they know it's Christmas? Which author who wrote the novels The Fourth Protocol and Icon worked as a correspondent for the BBC and Reuters in the 60s?
Frederick Forsyth?
Yes. What were the names of the two Edinburgh murderers in the 1820s whose activities resulted in the passing of the 1832 Anatomy Act that allowed the legal acquisition of unclaimed corpses by medical schools?
Pass.
Which constellation, finish the question, is followed across the night sky by the hunting dogs Canis Major and Canis Minor?
Orion.
Orion is correct. You had 5 passes altogether. Burke and Hare were those two Edinburgh murderers. The Pennine Way was the first long-distance footpath. It's the humerus that articulates with the scapula, etc. Prince Andrew, who had Earl of Inverness bestowed upon him, and Brother Cadfael was the monk we were after. 5 passes. Peter Gaskell, 20 points.
Okay.
And Anna Torpey now, please. You're into the novels of Joanne Harris. She's a good writer, great writer, what, in your view?
A great writer. An absolutely superb writer. I think she's got a very distinct voice. People try to pigeonhole her and say that the genre is magical realism or gastromancy or
Gastromancy, on account of she likes chocolate and things like that.
Well, she wrote the book Chocolat, but she herself said the food that she writes about is not intrinsically important to her novels. It's more a shortcut to the culture that she's writing about.
It's a device, isn't it?
Yeah.
But she's not regarded as a great literary writer, is she? A writer of great literary novels?
No, which perplexes me. I think that 3/4 of the Orange should have won millions of awards because it's a fantastic book. It's a devastating book.
You did her proud. You got 16 points. The score to beat is 22. 2 minutes now on general knowledge. Let's see if you can do it. Who topped the UK album charts for 6 weeks in the summer of 1986 with True Blue?
Madonna.
Yes, which nuclear site just north of Seascale in Cumbria contains a visitor centre with interactive exhibits and an immersion cinema?
Sellafield.
Yes, which of the anthropoid apes is genetically most similar to man?
Chimp.
Yes, what was introduced at Wimbledon Tennis Championships in the 1920s to prevent the best players meeting in the early rounds?
Seeds.
Yes, Karol Wojtyła was Archbishop of which Polish city from 64 until his election to the papacy in 1978 as John Paul II?
Warsaw.
Krakow. Which nutritionist who died in 2003 popularised the high-protein, low-carbohydrate diet named after him?
Atkins.
Yes, in music, what name from the Italian for tale is given to the concluding passage of work or movement, typically forming an addition to the basic structure?
Pass.
The first published example of which brain teaser appeared in 1913 in the New York World newspaper?
Crossword.
Yes, which author best known for her fictional diaries wrote the spoof spy novel Olivia Jules and the Overactive Imagination, first published in 2003?
Pass.
Which Yorkshire-born artist settled permanently in Los Angeles in 1978?
David Hockney.
Yes, what name is shared by a yellow rose edged with pink and a lily whose botanical name is Spathiphyllum?
Carnation.
Peace. Which actor first came to prominence as the teenager Arnie Grape in the 1993 film What's Eating Gilbert Grape, starring Johnny Depp?
River Phoenix.
No, Leonardo DiCaprio. Which canal passes through the man-made Lake Gatun, the Gaillard Cut and the Miraflores locks?
The Suez
No,
Canal.
Panama Canal. What general term for blood poisoning is derived from the Greek for rotten blood?
Septicemia.
Yes, which John Fowles novel opens an easterly is the most disagreeable wind in Lion Bay?
French Lieutenant's Woman.
Yes, what name is used for the transparent young stage of the eel when it's considered a delicacy?
Pass.
The Band of Hope was founded around 1847 in Leeds to promote which virtue in children?
Cleanliness.
Temperance. Which cult television series of the early 1990s, I'll finish the question, created by David Lynch, starred Carl MacLachlan as the FBI Special Agent Dale Cooper?
Twin Peaks.
Twin Peaks is correct. Your passes, 3 of them. Elva is the baby eel. Yeah. Helen Fielding wrote Olivia Jules, etc. And coda is the musical term, comes from the Italian for tail. 3 passes. Anna Torpey, 26 points. And finally, Susan Swan, please. Mary Tudor, a woman who had 5 stepmothers.
5 stepmothers.
I'm told.
The first was the worst.
The first was the worst. Who was
Yes,
the first?
Anne Boleyn.
Anne Boleyn.
Caused the breakup of the marriage and made Mary lady-in-waiting to her own daughter Elizabeth, a huge degradation in status, and had her title of princess taken away from her.
And in the end, she upped and married, although Henry didn't want her to marry for a long time.
She didn't marry during the lifetime of Henry VIII because he was, well, one, he wouldn't pay the dowry, but two, he was afraid that if Mary went off and married a foreign prince, she might actually turn on him with a foreign prince backed by an army and become a rival for the throne. So she was never allowed to marry, and by the time she did get to marry, she was 38 years old. And even now, that's late to try and have a child. But in those days, it was pretty much impossible.
Right.
And so the marriage was almost doomed from the start.
And she married
Philip of Spain,
who
viewed her as a political marriage. Once he found out that she couldn't bear a child, off he went, and he only came back when he wanted money.
Poor thing.
Yes.
Right. Well, 18 points you scored with her, which is an awful lot. 26 is the score you now have to beat. Let's try you on general knowledge. Here we go. 2 minutes. The process of mellification produces which sticky substance used as a sweetener since early times?
Sugar.
Honey. The song Another Suitcase in Another Hall comes from which musical by Tim Rice and Andrew Lloyd Webber?
Evita.
Yes, in 1803, the United States bought the land between the Mississippi River and the Rocky Mountains from France. What name was given to the sale agreement?
The Louisiana Purchase.
Correct. Which word for a business magnate comes from the Japanese for great prince?
Shogun.
Tycoon. Alfred Hitchcock made which of his films in 1934 and again in 1956, the latter version starring James Stewart and Doris Day?
Rear Window.
The Man Who Knew Too Much. In which mountain range is Mulathan the highest peak in the Iberian Peninsula?
The Pyrenees.
Sierra Nevada. Whose painting, The Boyhood of Raleigh, shows two young boys sitting by a seawall listening to a sailor who is pointing out to sea?
Cézanne.
Millet. Which all-girl group had their first UK hit in 1986 with Manic Monday?
The Bananarama.
The Bangles. Which fish thought to have been extinct for at least 60 million years was discovered off the coast of South Africa in 1938?
Albatross.
Coelacanth. In 1982, which future captain of England and Manchester United scored after only 27 seconds of a World Cup finals match against France?
Neville.
Brian Robson. Rastafarians believe that Marcus Garvey's 1920s prophecy to look to Africa was fulfilled at the coronation of which emperor of Ethiopia in 1930?
Haile Selassie.
Correct. In which 2007 crime drama series is Kevin Whately's character Robbie, assisted by Sergeant Hathaway, played by Lawrence Fox?
Pass.
In 1799, who bought the country house Malmaison near Paris, planting a spectacular rose garden there?
Napoleon and Josephine.
Josephine, yes. Which best-selling novel by Marina Lufkitsko, published in 2005, opens 2 years after my mother died, my father fell in love with a glamorous blonde Ukrainian divorcee?
The History of Tractors in Ukrainian.
Yes, a short history of tractors in Ukrainian. What name was given to the divisions of up to 6,000 foot soldiers, normally divided into 10 cohorts, which made up the army of ancient Rome?
Centuries.
Legions is the correct answer. You had just one pass. Lewis was the 2007 crime drama. 23 points. So that's it. Let's have a look at the scores. In fourth place with 20 points, Peter Gaskell. Third place with 22 points, Tom Rutherford. Second place with 23 points, Susan Swan. In first place with 26 points, Anna Torpey. Which means, of course, that Anna Torpey, the winner, goes through to the grand final. Congratulations to her. Do join us next week for another semi-final and more Masterminds. Thank you for watching. Goodbye. If you'd like to be a contender on Mastermind, then please write to Mastermind, BBC Manchester, Oxford Road, PO Box 27, Manchester M60 1SJ, or log on to our website bbc.co.uk/mastermind.